Edwards Syndrome Association is a 100% volunteer 501c3 nonprofit organization dedicated to advocacy, equal care, education, and rights of people with Edwards syndrome. The ESA strives to empower parents to advocate while working to help break barriers for those with Edwards syndrome. This podcast is for educational purposes only. For all medical advice, please speak with your medical providers. Thank you for joining us and for breaking barriers with us.
Welcome to the Breaking Barriers podcast, where we talk all things Edwards syndrome, special needs, therapy, disability, and everything in between. I am your host, Crystal Simpson. Each episode, I will be joined by other members of the Edwards Syndrome Association team, as well as our special guest. Welcome to our very first Breaking Barriers podcast episode. I am your host, Crystal Simpson. For this episode, I'd like to tell you a little bit about our goals for the podcast, who we are, and a little bit about our kids. Tonight on here, we have all 5 of the board members, including myself. I am the advocacy manager, the mom of Gunner. I will let everyone else kind of introduce yourself, and we'll start with Gina.
Hi, everybody. I am Gina Polisek, and I am the president, and I am mom to Mia.
Hi, everybody. I am Kelly, and I'm the vice president, and I am mom to Emma.
Hey, everyone. My name is Robert Polisek, and I am the director of finance for the Edwards Syndrome Association, and I am the father to Mia.
Hi, I'm Brandon Huxold. I am the social media manager and father to Fiona.
All right, let's jump right in. First, let's talk a little bit about the Edwards Syndrome Association and how we started, what our goals are, and all the things that we plan to do. If Gina would like to jump in on that.
Perfect. So the ESA was founded in March of 2023. We are a 501c3 fully volunteer parent-run organization. We're a group of parents throughout the country. We come from all different areas and backgrounds, but we align in that we all have a warrior with Edwards syndrome. They range in age from 3 to 8. We've all had to spend time fighting for our kiddos. Each of us has, at one point in time, envisioned starting something to help in whatever way that may be, but it was when we all came together that we knew that we could make a true impact. Our mission is to emphasize the possibilities that arise with the right love, medical care, supports, therapies, and education. We have found that people with Edwards syndrome thrive in their unique ways with the appropriate tools. And our vision is to improve statistics, work with medical professionals to get more literature into the open, and to walk alongside families that need support. We ultimately want to show the true spectrum of Edwards syndrome. For families, we have a very active online support group. So if you are not yet in there, you can find that on Facebook. We provide various supports to families in the forms of support packages such as NICU gifts, cards of hope. We do bereavement, and we recently started a first birthday celebration package. Since so many of us are told the statistics of living to age 1, we started that up. We partner with medical professionals and are actively working on getting more resources out there for those with a diagnosis with these professionals. With this podcast that we just launched, we will not only be sharing valuable knowledge that us as parents can provide to others, but we will also have special guests such as doctors, therapists, and other important people in the special needs space on certain episodes. We ultimately want to answer crucial questions for parents. How can we help them find fair care? What equipment and therapies do their child need? What resources and educational options are available? We are actively working to get as much information as we can get out there and simply raise as much awareness as possible. Each one of us dedicates various time to this mission. In our spare time, we work around our own family life, our own child's care and needs, therapies, medical cares, as well as other jobs. We work late into the night at times, on trains, wherever we can fit it in. We are committed and blessed to be on this journey with you all. As the current president, I oversee all aspects of the organization and help in, any areas that I can. I handle all of our packages, a lot of the communications with medical professionals, a lot of the operational side, and so much more. I am honored to be able to dive in wherever I am called. I would now like to turn it over to the rest of the ESA team to explain their duties and roles. So Crystal, as host, let's go ahead and start with you.
Okay. My title on the board is the advocacy manager. Pretty much, I am the host of the podcast. I will do the editing. I do a lot of our Canva for the social medias, shirt designs, calendar, etc. I kind of just jump in wherever needed as well.
And then I'm Kelly, and I am the vice president of the ESA, and my role is to do the website, and I did the social media calendar for the year, continually, and I assist Gina when needed, and Crystal. And I would say that us three together, like I'm learning the website, but us three together work on the content of the website, of getting it up there, what to put up, and things such as that. And now we have Robert.
Yes, I am the Director of Finance, and my main tasks are to manage and operate all financial and fundraising activities for the organization. So whenever we receive donations from individuals, we that's my task is to make sure that's monitored and received, and there aren't any issues in regards to that. And then when we host events, making sure all the funds that we receive for the donations are received adequately and documented appropriately. And then I also, on an annual basis, proceed with the tax filings necessary in the various states that we are associated in. Brandon?
Yeah, so as the social media manager, I organize and help run all of the various social media platforms that we are on. We have 2 Facebook pages, an Instagram, TikTok, Threads, and we're also on Twitter. And as we see other social media platforms come up, we will get on there too. It's important to connect with other members of the community as well as prospective parents who have just been given a diagnosis, and we wanted to create a um, a platform that people can find easily and have the best information that we can possibly put out there.
Yeah, I would have to say all five of us have became a great team together.
I agree.
I definitely agree. We make a very good team. We're small, but we all have similar goals and motivators. It certainly doesn't mean that we're not always looking for others to join us. So if anyone out there has a burning desire to volunteer, or you have a specific niche that you want to put out there to this community, you can reach out to us at any time, and we can let you know if we have a need for it.
Yeah, for sure. Like going back to what Gina stated earlier about the podcast and our goals, for the podcast, we would like to take advantage of this and get the word out and talk to other doctors, therapists, families, if they have specific topics that they would want to talk about or chat about. We are always open to that as well. Our goal for podcast release for probably maybe twice a month is our goal. It's all a learning experience. So we'll start here and kind of just build on it and see where it goes. I'm excited. I will also like to give the rest of the board members an opportunity. What is your all's goals for the podcast?
Yeah, I think it's important to note that, we have expressed that we're all parents of medically complex kids with special needs, and we're all also parents to other kiddos as well. And so, we're hoping to release twice a month, but that might be once a month occasionally. And, there may be months where we maybe can release more, but it's just going to be dependent on kind of our own situations as well. So we hope to get as many episodes out there as we possibly can, and we hope to have some of you as guests as well on certain episodes. I would say that my goal is I've always dreamed of doing something like this, but just never really knew how. I mean, everybody on this episode right now knows that I'm probably not the most tech savvy, which is why I'm grateful to work with the rest of you that may be better at that. I feel like we kind of all, pick each other up. We have strengths and weaknesses. And so Crystal graciously offered to, host and do the vast majority of the editing. Brandon has offered to do some of the editing. That's not something that I ever felt I would be very good at, but I have always been interested in this. So I'm excited to come alongside Crystal and the rest of the team and co-host some of these episodes. And ultimately, I just want to get as much knowledge out there as possible. People are really into podcasting now with, being in cars so much and, just turning on podcasts to listen to. And if we can get some information out there that people may not hear, through reading, people don't like to read as much anymore. I think that's a critical thing. And if we can get some doctors in here and therapists and, just share our own knowledge, and even if it reaches a couple of people only that, it may really benefit, that's huge. So ultimately my biggest goal is to just raise awareness and to educate and kind of see where things go.
I think with me, obviously all the same goals, but like one of the things I wanted to add is I feel like our discussions will be geared toward trisomy 18 kids and their needs as they age, because we are in an era of learning about them as they age, because there's a lot of information up through like the age of 1, but all of our kids are past that, and many kids are past that, and I feel like there's just a lot of things popping up that we're finding out about them that are we're, like I said, learning about. So that's what I think that our some of our goals can be too, is those type of topics and stuff.
Yeah, that's a great point, Kelly. I think that, it's as time goes on and more information is out there for people to just do a quick search of, hydrocephalus and trisomy 18 or certain therapies and trisomy 18, and our podcast pops up, or certain educational tools pop up for people to just go to and learn. Like, I feel like there's not enough of that out there right now. And if we can kind of get those buzzwords out there for people to say, hey, that sounds like an episode I might need to listen to if my kid's going through that, because it's the wild, wild west for us, I feel like.
Yes,
Definitely.
definitely.
Most definitely. And then that's also kind of going to dovetail into a goal of mine is bringing in the medical professionals and therapists and individuals that we as a collective group trust and work with for our own children, and they're willing to and willing to take this into and bring their expertise to the forefront and express what they've learned working with our children to then be informative to families that are possibly going through like the hydrocephalus, seizures, scoliosis, all their multiple avenues that our kids are going through. Um, Heaven knows medical professionals that are willing to come on and have a full-fledged conversation with parents like us. It sets a really good dynamic and also can be a catalyst to new parents coming as their kids age. You'll grow more and more comfortable communicating with these medical professionals and therapists, not only through your own practice, but also this gives you hopefully hope that that will be a case for you as your kid continues to age. If your child is coming up to be 1, possibly 2, and so on and so forth, as they continue to thrive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I
Yeah.
believe too. Especially learning. I think Mia especially is having us all learn about really different things.
Yeah, she's our
Every
mystery box,
single
that's for
day,
sure.
Kelly. You are
Yeah,
right.
and I think it's also important too, like we're gonna have a wide range of episodes where, there's gonna be some with a doctor, and it's gonna be, very structured to try to get as much information from them as we can. And then we're going to have, some very laid back episodes where,
The
it might
dad
be
pod.
our team. Yeah, like
Yeah.
the dad pod.
Mm.
We might have some special mom podcast releases where, us moms just get together and we chat about just life and kind of reality. And the different things that we go through that just aren't talked about enough, and just keep it real, and make people feel heard, like their situations aren't, like they're not alone. And so we're going to kind of keep it a range of things that you can listen to, so it's not always the same thing over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
that
for sure.
everybody and that they can like to hear.
Brandon.
Well, for me, I think it's first of all, it's educating people and telling them our story, and hearing other people's stories as well, and learning together through all those stories. And then another piece of it, or another goal, is to have some fun. We all have fun together. We try not to have everything be doom and gloom about our kids, and so there's the happy aspect of what we've seen in children with Edwards syndrome, and how joyful they are. And I think there's a lot of that we can show other people as well. And so for me, it's getting on and talking with people I consider friends, and having a good time.
Yeah, for
Yeah, and
sure.
I'll second that for sure, because we started this organization almost 2 years ago now, simply for the fact that there was just a simple doom and gloom that we were recognizing and we were seeing, and we knew that there was so much more hope and positive advocacy that we could bring out there, but also not having blind faith and realization that even when you're going through the hard times, it's not going to be like, you gotta just stay focused and one day at a time, and stay focused on the positivity, because the positivity is what gets you through to the next hurdle that you're going to be that's going to be coming down the pipeline. But in regards to, we don't have to sit in the negativity or the hardship, is that you have positive outlooks, but also how do we go about getting through those? And that's what we hope, as we're going through it collectively with our 4 children, even as a collective 5. Um, we're going through it we're going through it day in and day out, and we've been through the 2, 3, 4 stage. Well, Brandon's been through 3.
Okay, with all that being said, let's talk about the kids behind all this. We have Gunner. He is full trisomy 18. He is almost 9 years old. We have Emma, she is mosaic, and she is 6 years old. We have Mia, she's full trisomy 18 as well, and she is 5 years old. And then we have Fiona, mosaic, and she is 3. She's the baby of the bunch.
Yeah.
Um, as far as Gunner, we want to kind of want to just all of us talk about what motivates us. Um, so as far as Gunner, like, I could go on, and I'm sure all of you guys could. Gunner has came so far. He is cannot believe he's about to be 9 years old. And I've got a lot of people being like, oh, there's no way he's full. Yeah, he is. He's been tested a few times. But Gunner is a fighter, a warrior. He has motivated our family and his siblings so much throughout life. Um, and I would just like to share his story and advocate and get other parents out there to see, how far Gunner has came, and that, their kid could come that far or even do even better. Just each one of our kids are so different. So, yeah, so I'll let Gina and Robert tell a little bit about Mia and how she motivates them.
Yeah, so Mia, since the day, since the day that we found out we were pregnant, she has been a big, big motivator for me. We did not find out she had Edwards syndrome until she was born, and I feel like we were given all of the doom and gloom, told all the awful things that you typically get told when you are given this diagnosis. And I remember the first like 24 hours, we kind of, at least I know I did, I really thought that it was true and that the next alarm was going to be the end. And that's kind of the mindset I had. But then slowly I kept realizing, like, okay, she's still breathing. She's still doing well. The cardiologists are giving us good news. I started finding other kids with Edwards syndrome and seeing how well they were doing. And, like within 24 to 48 hours, like a light just switched in our heads and we're like, we're going to fight and we're never going to stop fighting. I feel like we've had to be like sponges essentially the last 5 years and learn more medical terminology and medical things than I ever thought imaginable, to the point that some medical professionals think that we work in that field.
Mm-hmm.
And I just feel like we've learned so much that, we want to share that with others. We want to, be an inspiration and a voice for others that are going through those steps that we've already been in, that are first getting that diagnosis, that, their kids are turning 1, 2, 3 years old and, they may be developing seizures or certain things that maybe Mia had going on. And, we just want to walk alongside of them and, partner with them and be there for them.
Mm-hmm.
So ultimately, like, Mia is my motivation because, I mean, she's my world along with my other daughter, but she is thriving and I know she's going to continue to thrive, and I'm going to always fight for her. And that includes fighting for others as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll second everything my illustrious wife and president of organization said about our wonderful daughter Mia. I will add that in that 24 to 48 hours, right after we received the diagnosis, when she was 3 days old, after a blood test that we weren't even aware was taken, um, we we have let her guide us since that day into everything that she is showing us that she has motivation to accomplish. We as her parents are setting up to provide for her, but we're letting her guide the way.
Mm-hmm.
And she informs us in the manner that she's able to tell us when she can or she can't. And quite often she's so strong and such the warrior that all trisomy 18 Edward syndrome children are. They're stronger than we even give them credit for.
For sure.
And all they need is just the opportunity to expand upon it and given the proper resources to grow within themselves. Um, because I mean, we could go on and on. But yeah, just basically that is that she's led us since day 3 of birth, and we work in tandem. We work as a team. That's why when Gina and I were contemplating um, being founders of this organization, there wasn't a way that it was just going to be Gina or just me, and we also knew that it would be even bigger um, with a collective group like we have here. Um, so that's ultimately why Mia is our motivation for starting this organization with the collective group we have.
Mm-hmm. Kelly, you'd like to tell us a little bit about Emma and what motivates you?
Sure. Um, Emma is a huge, huge motivator to me. She's been a fighter since the beginning. Not to name any hospitals or anything, but where she was born, they were not trisomy 18 friendly. What we consider trisomy 18 friendly. And she ended up getting a staph infection and sepsis, and pretty much on her deathbed. And I was told at 6 days old that she wasn't going to make it. But she turned around pretty quickly, thank God. And if she was going to fight, I was going to fight. And because of what I went through, because they also denied her heart surgery, so we had to find another hospital for heart surgery. Because of going through all of that, I wanted to, it's a motivator for me to help others because I'm not the only one it happens to. So to help others in that situation and be like, hey, this is what I did, this is what happened, blah, blah, blah. And that's like a big motivator. And then now she's just my little warrior. She's been through so much, and at such a young age, like all of our kids. And she's just my big why. She's my whole reason for being here now.
Mm-hmm.
So that's basically like a big like quick summary of it. But and then when it comes to the organization, me and Gina had met each other years prior, before we started this, and then we met all you guys, and coming together, it was nice having others that are in the same shoes, even though our journeys all look different. It's
Right.
we all like have like the same type of goals, just coming from different aspects of it,
Oh yeah,
and
for sure.
that's what I like about it.
Yeah, all of our kids are different, but yeah, you're right. We're all still on the same journey on that part.
Yeah, so that's my big why. Let's hear from Brandon to see what he has to say.
Yeah. So Fiona is a ray of sunshine. She is a nutty bar, and everyone that she meets, she loves, and they love her. And so she is gonna do what she's gonna do, and she's gonna do it however she wants. And it's I say that meaning she will accomplish most everything that a typical child will do. It's just she's about a year to a year and a half delayed on it.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's, part of what mosaicism brings to the picture is that, she's going to school, she's walking, talking, um, but she's behind on a few things, but she does them eventually.
Well,
And
that's
so,
awesome.
Yeah,
so she motivates me every day, to do better and to um, try to accomplish more. And I'm really, my goals are always to try and help as many people as I can out there in the world who may have gone through a lot of the same things that we did in the beginning, or have questions about what the future might look like, and try to make the world a better place for children with Edward syndrome.
Yeah, I think it's important to note that we as a collective group here, I mean, all of our kids are in itself such a spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
And we all were given the same doom and gloom,
Right.
whether it was in utero or after birth. If in our case, we didn't find out till then, but we were all told the same things that, you should consider terminating, you should go home on hospice. And all of our kids are thriving. They're all thriving in their own ways. And it's a spectrum. Like
Mm-hmm.
Brandon said, Fiona's walking and talking. Mia is not walking or anything, but she is, utilizing a speech device. And it just shows that no matter what your kid is, they're going to try to tell you what they're going to be when you get this diagnosis. And that's why we want to come together because, it is such a spectrum and show that spectrum. I mean, no matter where your child lands on that spectrum, like they are worthy, they are, you know, they're all so happy. They're all so just, they just make the world a better place. And so, I think that's a big thing that we as an organization want to portray is just the spectrum and how amazing all of these kiddos can do.
Yeah, with that also being said, the love that the kids share, like,
Yes.
hmm
they just spread it. You can just look at them in their eyes, and it's just you're just
yeah.
fulfilled with so much love.
Yeah, because Emma's like Fiona, and I know Mia and Gunnar are pretty much the same way, where she just loves everybody. There's no like, it's just everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, we call Mia our gentle soul because she is literally just the most like I don't even know how to explain it. It's just she is the most gentlest, purest, like loving human being that could ever grace this planet. And she may have limitations, but my gosh, is she like the most perfect person.
She's always calm unless something is wrong. That's
Wrong.
how we know.
Yeah.
That's how we know something is wrong, is because she literally has the most calm demeanor and most relaxed mentality for all that she has been through every single
Yeah,
day.
that's how Emma is too. Maybe it's a trisomy 18 trait.
I don't think that is, because Gunnar is not the most calming soul.
See, it's a spectrum. They're
Yeah,
Yes.
anywhere on it.
Maybe it's a girl trisomy 18 trait.
it may be.
I don't
Gunnar,
know, cause Fiona is a bit more of a wild
She's
child.
spicy.
yeah.
She's
Yeah.
spicy.
Oh yeah, she's actively trying to like jump off of things, and yeah, I have to control her.
It's never peaceful or calm here at our house with Gunnar around.
They all have their own personalities, that's for sure.
Oh,
And
yes,
I mean,
for sure.
that's another thing that we're looking forward to on this podcast is, having other parents on and sharing about their kiddos and,
Oh, yeah.
if you're an active listener, each month you're going to see even how much more of a spectrum it is than even just our 4 kiddos.
Hmm.
It's incredible to just see the varying kids and adults with Edwards syndrome and, what they're capable of and what they're doing and how amazing their personalities are. So with that, we can probably wrap this up. We wanted to keep this first episode short and sweet and simply just to the point. Just introduce ourselves, kind of why we are starting this podcast, what our goals and our ambitions are with it. We plan to release our next episode very soon, and it just may be a dad pod. Time will tell. We should also be releasing our first episode with a medical provider either late this year or very early next year. So we are excited to start that journey with some of the medical professionals that we've been building great relationships with.
We cannot wait to see how the Breaking Barriers podcast grows. Thank you for joining us on our first episode of telling you a little bit more about the Edwards Syndrome Association.